Magandang araw. Ako si Kui Code. Welcome back to my channel where I discuss programming challenges as we learn Python. Today we'll be continuing with the final two set problems in the set subdomain. These are very similar, superset and subset, so we're just going to include them both in the same video. So just to start, well, what is a subset? A subset is simply where the values of one set is included in the values of another. So we'll just make set A here, 1 and 2, and then we'll have set B, which is 1, 2, and 3. And then there's actually a method that's included inside of set. So we can do A is subset of B, and we'll go ahead and print that out. So it's true that A is a subset of B, which is good. Something that's kind of weird though, B is also a subset of B because the values of B are included in B, but it's kind of a truism that it's also obviously true. There's not even a point of even mentioning it. You can kind of just ignore that because like there's no real reason that I can think of where this would actually be useful. So we'll just think of this. But something else is if we do it like that, even if the values are the same, that is still considered a subset. And there's actually something called a proper subset where it only works if the arrays are not equal, or sorry, if the sets are not equal. So if we do and A is not equal to B, then that will return false, because even though A is a subset of B using this, because the values are exactly the same, it will return false. So it is a subset, but it's not a proper subset. There are other ways to do it rather than using this method. We could just simply do A is greater than or equal to B, which would still give us false. But if we're using this, we don't even need this section because we can just remove the equal sign and then it would still give us false because A is not less than B, A is the same as B, so that also works. So that's pretty straightforward. And then there's also the opposite, which is a superset. So if we were to do this where, let's just do A is subset of B, that returns true. And then the opposite, B is superset of A. So that is also, those are also true. So like I said, these two are basically the exact opposite. And fun fact, actually, well, maybe not a fun fact, but what I can actually do to just to have some type of visualization, if I import matplotlib.py plot as plt, and then from matplotlib then import Venn2. We can we have our subsets, and then we can just create a Venn diagram. So Venn2, we can pass in our list of sets. So there's A, there's B, and then we can just make a label here. A, B, and then plt.show. What was the error? No module. Okay, I don't know what the glitch was, but it must have just been a typo. But as you can see, imagine the green part being set B, and then set A is a subset because it exists inside. It's not the whole thing, but it's just a portion inside of this. So that's just an actual diagram showing that A is a subset of B, but at the same time, B is a superset of A. So it's pretty straightforward. Now we can just move on to the actual challenges here. So the first input we have is 3 because there's 3 different test cases. So this 5 represents the next list is size 5. This 9 represents the next list length is 9. And then you're just basically checking, is this list a subset of this? And in this case, it's only length of 1, this is length of 5, this one is length of 7, this one is length of 3. So a lot of this code is stuff we've already done, but we'll go ahead and just put in our our text here. So first we'll just call it test cases equals input, oopsie, int input. So this is going to be the 3. So now we need to loop 3 times. So for underscore in range test cases. First we'll get n, which is the length of the first array. So n equals int input. And then we'll have set a, set map int input split. I need an equals there. And then we just kind of copy and paste this because these next lines are the same, but this will be called M and this will be called B. So now that inside the loop we have our variables for these 4 inputs, now we just have to do our print function because we need to print either true or false. So for each one of those, print A is less than or equal to B, and that should be good, I think. Yeah, that one was completed or successful, and we'll go ahead and do that. Running test cases. Okay, that one's done, and then we'll just move on to the next one, which is the same thing, but it's the opposite, where here's the first array, and then you have 2 inputs, and you're basically testing if these are, if this is a superset. So print true if A is a strict superset of all others. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this example is false, but if you look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this one does exist, but 100, 11, and 12 does not exist. We do have 11 and 12, but you have to include the entire thing. So because 100 is not here, this one is false. This one is true, but we still return false because it has to include all of them, not just one. So for that one, we'll just make A equals set map int input split. There's our superset. N equals int input. And now we need a loop here. So we'll actually have to make a Boolean ahead of time. That way we can just, it's the default is true. And when we're looping through, if any of them are false, it'll flip this to false. And that way, for the rest of the iterations, even if another one is true, it doesn't matter because it'll still be false at the end, and then it'll just return false. So we'll have that defaulted to true, and then for underscore in range n. We'll just make another set for these. If not A greater than B. So again, A is a superset of B, so this would be true if A is a superset of B, but this is saying not, which means opposite, which means if A is not a superset of B, then our result equals false, and then that's it. So we could just then print the result, and that should work. Yep, that was successful. Go ahead and do this one, and that is done. Looks like we are done the sets. So let's just go ahead and see what the next one would be. And as I mentioned, these medium ones, I'm just going to go through all of the easy ones first. We still have a lot more to do, and then I'll go back and do the medium ones. So easy unsolved. I guess the next one is just math. I'm wondering if I should do. Actually, this one is pretty short. This is like, yeah, the mod, power, integers, coordinates. So this one is pretty short. So I'll do this one next, and then I can work on iter tools, which is just different ways to iterate over list. So that's it for this video. Please like and subscribe if you found this helpful, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos. Please, see you next time on Kuya Code. Paalam.